All right, welcome to Willow Tarot. I'm Elizabeth. I'm going to set up my screen, which I did not do, so I will take a moment to do that now. Whoops, and nope. Give me a second. So this is really good. I'm really glad this is happening, because it's the idea of just do it, just start. Don't worry about it. Just do it. You want to film? Film. You want to record? Record. You want to live stream? Great. Post. Post. If you spend too much time worrying about what the outcome is, you'll never begin. That first step will always be elusive. As I still go through and attempt to fix my screen, and now I'm ready. Got there no matter what, right? So just let it flow when it happens. All right, so welcome, guys. Again, it's Willow Tarot. I'm Elizabeth. We're going to do some reads today for the group, meaning that there are no questions asked aloud in this environment, but wherever you're at anytime, ask yourself. You're the best person to answer the question about yourself. Might take you a while to get there, and exterior help might be welcome, but you're still the best person. Alrighty. So we are going to begin by scratching my left eye. and we are also going to begin with Seasons of the Witch with Star Oracle. I attended a group last night where an exercise that we were doing, which was a really fun exercise. Shout out to Brie and Nicole. I got spring rain for my card. It's not our read this morning, but yesterday for the read, the synchronicity just leapt out at me because I realized for the past 48 hours I was getting a lot of hits on raindrops. I was actually through clairaudience instructed to read for the rain, and it was raining outside. That was over the course of 48 hours. Very exciting. I just love it when I see these things because there's tie-ins for everything. We are all connected. So there is a tie-in when a butterfly flaps its wings. You know, this could have an effect on something across the world. It's kind of it's a large statement for me. I don't quite see how. I understand the concept of a butterfly flapping its wings could affect someone literally on the other side of the planet, like, because the potential is there for them to be affected because something happened. Anytime something happens, there's going to be a reaction to the action. And because I see us as being a circle, as being connected, a representation of the mycelial network above rather than below, our actions do have effects on other people, on the planet, on the environment, on your spirit state, on the dimensional self, that the life that you live, the other dimensions that you exist in, if you believe that, I do, it's affecting them there as well. They affect us, we affect them. All right, let's see what we get. Interesting topics we're talking about as I shuffle the cards. Ooh. So Seasons of the Witch of Star Oracle. This is Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz, and illustrated by Shauna Liquifet. It's a whole series of decks. They're fabulous. I have all of them. I really enjoy them. So Seasons of the Witch is the series, and this specifically is a Star Oracle. You can check my pronunciation on anything I say. Just trying to feel into the deck. All right, let's see what we have. Creating altars. So what were we just talking about? Synchronicities. We are a circle. We are all connected. We are all connected. So I was talking about. And if I were to create an altar, I would most likely just go out into my yard and get what I would like. Things I already have. Not necessarily spend additional money. That's including on the altar itself. Get a large piece of bark that's dislodged itself from a tree. You have an altar. You can even sit on the ground. The ground itself can be your altar. It does not need to be a specifically designated space. Well, it can be a temporary space, put it that way. It doesn't have to be some glorified aspect of self. It's just an area that you want to put your energy into and receive energy from. It's a focal point. It's also a wonderful reminder of what's happening around you. You put a bird feather up to remind you of the bird that you speak with every day, or that birds exist and they're real and they're not actually government drones. Or you can go wherever you want with that. So let's go to creating altars, card 9. May you be reminded of the altar within, where the truth of your magic holds all that you seek. So this is an altar within. And if you're like, I don't have the imagination, or I don't want the energy, I don't want to take that energy and create that whole mindscape thing is not my thing. Well, then just consider that your heart that never stops beating is the altar within. Your digestive tract that continuously keeps you alive by pumping out what you don't need and extracting what you do is the altar within. The skin you see every day is still the altar within. Cut it open. Don't really do this, please. And look on the inside, it's the altar within. It's as above, so below. What's in it? Your skin offers you as above, so below. Altars are everywhere. You don't need to spend money, even a lot of time, making one. You don't need to have one either. But it doesn't have to be a big to do, and you don't have to mirror it against anyone else's altar. It could be exactly what you want it to look like. There's no rules here. Okay, let's see what the book says, because they might have some rules on how to do this. All right. Creating altars. Excuse me. So I just thought, though, my vocal cords are an altar. Let me clear that altar. Clear the altar so that I can set up something new. What I'm reading from the book, because these words travel over the vocal cords, the altar in this case. You see how open this is? Okay. Transcendence is an existence or experience beyond your physical reality. And that is what an altar is. Your sacred corner of the universe that exists outside space and time when you engage with it. It becomes a vessel for your magic and a place where your prayers can be heard and answered. Support and protection are given freely, and your secrets can be kept safe and sound. But you must treat your altar with reverence and respect. To neglect it is to neglect your energy and disconnect from the spiritual powers assigned to aid your journey. This card invites you to become your own altar, creating an inner sanctuary within your heart and soul where you can cultivate your spiritual power. Release the weight of external expectations, even if only for a few moments. Reconnect with your sense of peace and groundedness, allowing your mind the chance to catch up to your spirit. The most profound insights often appear in solitude and quiet reflection. There is deep wisdom within you, offering the answer to your challenge. And something I'd like to point out, like we have one page essentially for information to be given, a message to be shared. So when the book says, when the authors offers that, co-authors in this case, release the weight of external expectations, even if only for a few moments. Do they tell you how to do that? No, because that's up to you to find out how to do that. One page, guys, one page to offer us some sort of message that has to be broad enough to be able to hit multiple psyches, right? We have to give this message in a way sorry guys. I would think that the message should be given in a way that multiple people are going to be able to understand it. So no, it's not a detailed plan of action, but we're not all the same. We don't all have the same resources, the same wealth, the same education, the same time, the same labor aspect. We have to find that for ourselves as individuals, what works for us. We create the detailed plan. No one else does that for us, and nor should they. Those are called laws, and those can lead to oppression and suppression because no one picked up the fucking gauntlet to begin with. Someone else decides how we're going to do it. So I'm saying this because we are all powerful and we all have the ability to think for ourselves. The books simply offer what they think might be a potential avenue for us to travel. Now, if I read this to you and the whole time you're sitting there thinking, but all I can think about are oranges, maybe go eat an orange. Go look at a picture of an orange. Free Wi-Fi, you can get near free Wi-Fi and you have a smart device, you can bring up a picture of an orange. You could draw it in the dirt with a stick. The idea is any way that you want to bring the message forward for yourself is exactly how you should do it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in there, don't hurt yourself or anybody else while doing so, and it's fine. Because it's for you. It's not for someone else. You're creating it for you. Yay. I see a hand up. Go ahead.
Well, as far as alternate self, I think we have all one thing in common. We have a soul. We're from the universe. We have the wisdom and all the gifts to come. And there's a part of us that's always flowing. But then there's the material part uh, in the world, energy world. Some is good, some a lot of it's bad because it's self-centered energy. And what I'm saying is, you have your altar. You can be open to the outside world. You have the choice not to attach yourself to it. Don't feel you have to attach yourself. There's always pressure to be to attach and be what other people think or their unfair judgments. You have the choice, and that if you do that, you got balance.
Um, right. To not adhere to what other people want you to be is was that what you're saying it then? Or maybe I think that's an unfair statement on my part. To not imagine what I think other people want me to be because I don't know what's going on in their head. So this is all in my head. I'm in my head. I'm thinking what someone else wants me to be, completely in my head. So in a way, I am creating myself because even though I'm going, well, Bobette over there wants me to be a certain way. I should go ahead and do that. Bobette might be a caregiver or a sibling, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and do that without actually having Bobette tell me what it is that they want. I'm going to imagine it. So I am still co-creating my life. That's a really weird way to look at that. But yeah, I agree. Um, I think I don't know. Because I mean, I know I've thought that way before. I know it's easy to think that way. No. Turn off the TV. I mean, now that I'm uh older, yeah, I can see the TV, even on shows that I choose to watch, like that I'm careful, I cultivate. I don't want to see some things, I'll see other things. I'm still sitting in front of a TV. Yeah,
Well,
that's
another
good,
way,
but it's bad. Uh,
another way of saying is, if you participate in evil, you become a part of the evil. Don't feel you have to be evil or destructive like other people who think that's their big stuff and their having effective accomplishment to their ideas. Because when you participate, become part of it, become part of their suffering and everything else.
I'm
So
good. Sorry. Good.
that,
Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta say.
that's the end of my soapbox.
No, it's good. Because I'm thinking about this lawyer that I'm following now, and then we're gonna get back on track with the reading. Online, the vegan, oh man, the vegan Korean. I swear, I hope I'm not getting that wrong because I'm starting to feel a little. But anyway, she was practicing lawyer for many years, and she was saying that you are culpable of the crime. You will go to jail even if you had no idea the crime was taking place, but in some way was involved in it. So what you're saying, I get, but then we've got again man's laws, and I'll go ahead and say man as opposed to woman, even though women are now upholding the laws that are hurting. But in the beginning, man. So it's like we're gonna decide who's guilty and who's not, and it doesn't have anything to do with justice or fairness. So on a personal level, yes, what you feel is evil, what you feel is unjust, and you act accordingly. On the global, on the nation scale, on our as far as the state and federal level laws that we have, they don't feel the same way. So our spiritual path will not ever align with what's actually happening in the reality. And I don't care if you vote or you don't vote. I don't care if you know who's president or you haven't even looked in the past 16 years. You're still culpable because you're still living in the environment. We take patriarchy as an example. No one on the planet right now that is breathing is responsible for patriarchy, for the origin of this nature. But everybody that's breathing on this planet right now is responsible for the upkeep and the nurturing of patriarchy. So any moment that you feel Any moment that I feel I'm in evil, this shows me it's a transitory moment. And I should really discover what that evil is, how it affects me, and how it affects others. Not to have it as a blanket statement. Not that you were saying it was a blanket statement. But yeah, we've got a set of laws for ourselves, a set of laws for our neighbors, a set of laws for the entire fucking country, and none of them are ever going to co-align. Is that a word? I think, because I think that they just don't work together. When our laws are set up to not find how something works, but to focus where the law thinks it's broken, and then punish someone for living within a system of being broken, that is totally fucking unfair. If laws were actually in place to find where the connection happened and where we could help, that would be something totally different. We're built on a system of punishment. It's like beating a dog until it gets the trick right and never telling it what the trick is it's learning. That's the fucking laws. But I'm kind of hardcore on some of that stuff. So, did you want to say anything else?
Uh, well, I think the issue here is it's your quality of life every day. It's good feelings, bad feelings, and I feel if I'm operating as a spiritual person, I experience life through it. My higher good feelings will be higher, my suffering will be less. If I if I operate to a non-spiritual a materialist person who's focused on ego, getting even, and so forth, then I think emotionally my quality of life is going to go way down.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I don't want to attach to them.
That's like watching a news feed or not. Well, in my world, sorry, not everybody. What I don't watch the news. I watch. There's a couple. There's a couple news feeds I'll go to, but overall, I don't watch the news. I don't have a news feed. I haven't had one in years, and that has definitely helped me. If I sit there every day and see horrible, fabricated in some cases stories, or just the slant is not a healthy slant, then yeah, it's gonna affect me definitely. Especially, and again, these are transitory moments. It isn't going to last. Even something that's been going on for years, yes, that's a very long moment, but it will end. And that statement stands by itself. I'm not saying what we should do about the moment, but yeah, no, I agree. Um, okay, so we have the Chubby Witch's Night In. This is an oracle deck. It is a 44 card oracle deck and guidebook by Amanda Lovelace. I have I think she has 3 decks. I have all 3. They're good. I like them a lot. Amanda Lovelace, and this artwork is by Valerium. I've never heard of this illustrator, except but I only know really illustrators in the tarot and oracle world. So um they have I check them out on Wiki, but anyway, it's good. I like it a lot. Chubby Witch's Night In. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull apart. And I gotta tell you, man, purple. If you like purple, you might like the box on your shelf. There's a lot of purple. Here's the cover of the box, and you see Amanda Lovelace, her name. Okay. So she has her other 2 decks are my fair decks. Like when I travel to read at fairs, I always have those. And I read with them a lot. They're my go-tos. Um, you may find already in your journey, or it's coming up, or it will never happen. But in my journey, I definitely find certain decks to be very easy and comfortable to read. Look at the artwork, I suggest. I look at the artwork first. I have a card P8. Strength is my acid test card. If I'm unsure about a deck, I've only got a few minutes. Say you're in a room and people are flashing cards, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I want that deck. I will say, please pull the strength card, and that will be my acid test card. If I don't like the strength card, I won't like the deck. I know this. I know this. So that's how I do it. Now, if I like the strength card, there's a chance I might not like the deck, but I know I've got a pretty good chance I will, because that one card. Uh, you might be able to, you might want to find something like that for yourself, or not. Maybe it's the fool for you. All right, we have. Okay, we have it. I pulled this one last time. This is interesting. So let's look at the wording right here. It says it's sleep over, but we've got it's over because sleep has been crossed out. Now this was definitely like a slumber party. It was a sleepover. They're leaving. Why are they leaving at night? Oh my god, it's a slumber party, but they're leaving at night. Oopsies. or maybe very, very early in the morning. So that's different. Oh, she's got a broom by the door. Okay, wait, why is this happening? Seriously, I'm not joking. Why is the broom upright? Because this is where you collect all the dust, and if you don't leave, it's all gonna fall down, and when you go to pick up the handle, it's gonna have, that's gross. Not to mention, if someone knocks it over, dust and everything goes flying. Why don't you flip the broom? Is that a thing? Do people actually not do that? Am I like, maybe that broom is never used for dusting. Wait a minute. Okay, I understand the nature of drying flowers. You hang them upside down, but check it out. The plant is upright, the broom is upright, and the flowers that are hanging are facing down. I know that's what you're supposed to do when you hang them. And maybe I'm reading way too much into this, but that broom being upright, I think it's significant. I think it is saying treat your resources well. While they may be able to multitask, is it truly what you want to do with them? Will it in some way hurt them? Like laying on just a little bit more on your coworker because they're doing such a good job. That doesn't mean they can handle or want more. If it's not in the realm of what they're supposed to be doing, don't ask them to do it. Or if you're not really the one that should be asking anything, don't ask or offer. Okay, let's see what the book says. So this is part 32. We have 3 plus 2 is 5. And that is the Hierophant in the Major Arcana. See, so card 31 says sleepovers are group healing spells. And card 32 is it's sleepover, but the sleep has been crossed out. So these cards do kind of fall like that in line, like there's a story that they're telling. At least in these two. All right. So it's sleepover, sleep has been crossed out. Friends fight, and that's okay. I would argue that fighting, as long as it doesn't turn abusive, physical, or anything serious like that, is a healthy part of most relationships. I don't think it's reasonable to expect two people to agree on everything all of the time. So it's bound to happen every once in a while, as long as you're both eventually able to calm down and respectfully listen to one another's thoughts and feelings. Then you should be able to come up with a solution that you're both content with. It's all just moon water under the bridge, right? However, I would also argue that fighting all of the time is not a normal or healthy part of any relationship. I'm not a relationship expert or anything, but personally, I see that as a sign that there are deeper issues that desperately need to be healed. See if you can both find a long-term solution. If you care about this person and the bond that you've built together, then putting in the work to resolve these issues will be worth every bit of your combined efforts. But sometimes you do care about a person relationship, yet you don't see how the relationship can possibly be fixed. That's perfectly valid as well. Sometimes the people in our lives push too many boundaries, betray us in ways we never could have imagined, turn us into the worst versions of ourselves, and or say or do too many unforgivable things. Even if you wanted things to go back to the way they were before, it just can't be the same between you. There's only so much you can forget or rewrite. As much as it might pain both of you, the healing might need to take place apart. Maybe you'll find your way back to each other, but that's not a guarantee. Should this predicament sound familiar to you, this card asks you to consider that you deserve better than what this person or this group of people is capable of giving you, despite the love shared. So which one is it? Will you give it one more shot, or will you walk away and declare it's sleep over? It's over. So the night in journal prompt, because this is Chubby Witch's night in, the night in journal prompt, as it relates to your friendships, you can have a friendship with self too. Your lover, are you their friend as well? Your caregiver, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, whatever, perfect stranger. The caregiver, are they your friend as well? As it relates to friendships, Which behaviors do you consider to be the break in, make or break in? So what is something that someone will do that is just too much? And then it might be interesting to see who's actually been doing that in your life, maybe for decades. Caregivers are a great example here, because I can convince myself of anything that it was okay. They did that. It's not. It's not okay. It never was, and it never will be. In my world, y'all. I'm not speaking for y'all. Okay, awesome. I love that deck. I also use that deck in my mediumship practice. The show me which is I did. We are going to go to Animal Power Deck. 75 animals to awaken your personal magic. I love this deck. It's so straightforward. Look, it's a skunk, so it's a picture of a skunk. It's very straightforward. So let's see what we get.
Who's the author?
Allison Charles.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna shuffle. Ooh, very glossy, very slippery cards. So if you like jumpers, probably a really good deck. Not really. Um, we have camel, and I've been dehydrated. So it says activate inner cosmos. I've never pulled this. Man, I just had a flashback to Camel cigarettes. They used to use Joe Camel. They used to use an anime cartoon figure to sell cigarettes to kids. I don't know what they use now to sell them to kids. All right, so Camel, activate inner cosmos, but not that. That's not going to do it for you. That's just going to kill you. It's going to give you like cancer. All right, so and other kinds of cancer. It's probably going to be really painful. So make me quit. All right, I'm just going to get a preachy on now. All right, Camel, activate inner cosmos. We've got oranges, we've got yellows, we've got this very pretty blue-green mix in the background, the sun. Now, those, like, I was like, those are not pyramids. They can be, if your mind's eye is telling you they are, go for it. They're sand dunes that are exceptionally pointed. How would that be created? Because this is your real estate. This is your reality. It can be anything you want. Like I pictured coming along with a bucket full of sand and it's got a hole in the bottom and you just pull it out, right? So if you start letting that sand come down, eventually it's going to form something like this peak. But I created that massive sand dune in the card if I want to think of it like that. All right, that's also going to help me in how I understand the card. When Camel reveals, it is time to explore the layers of consciousness within yourself. You live in an infinite universe, and your ability to evolve is also infinite. Camel appears to help you discover the next steps for your exploration of your inner cosmos. Camel teaches you to view your Earth experience as an ongoing adventure. Embrace experiences with curiosity and positivity, and remember that you are here to learn and grow. Life is not about getting things perfectly. It's about being willing to keep moving forward calmly and confidently. I like it. I was actually thinking about how our social structures are so different than in the beginning. Beginning was tribes. Now we've got mega cities, people flying into space, visiting the moon. You know, I mean, definitely decades are going by between these events, but they're still happening. And we've gone from prehistoric, before history, to advanced technology that records all thoughts. Pretty intense. Actually, let's go to the alchemical deck next. Well, we were talking about space. Here's what we'll do. We'll go to these. Now we're gonna go to the alchemical deck. So this is Kim Crayons. And let me see something. I have, for some reason, sorry, I don't want, the screen has this, okay, I'm gonna go crazy. Sorry, guys, this is what I was talking about before, just do it. There we go, thank goodness, okay. I had to clean up my screen. The pop-ups that come in, while I'm recording and stuff, I can't always clear, so I leave them alone, but I can't see participants either when the pop-ups are in, so it's better to take that moment while recording, middle of a session, to go and have that done so that I can focus. It's all okay. It's all okay. It's all okay. All right, so let's go to Kim Crayons, The Wild Unknown. That's her series. If you see The Wild Unknown, I automatically think Kim Crayons. This is The Wild Unknown Alchemy deck and guidebook. So she's got the Wild Unknown Tarot. She has an animal spirit deck. She's got a archetype deck. I have all those. I think might be all her decks. She also has coloring books, journals, different things if you're interested. I learned on her tarot deck. I didn't even know Rider-Waite-Smith existed when I started learning tarot. I just picked the deck. So anyway, okay. So let's see what we have for our alchemical. Oh, and she wrote and illustrated these. So they're a little awkward to shuffle. Different, they're different shape. It's all good. Whoops. So if I did read jumpers, don't. Oh my gosh. So it's a good deck for when I say jumpers, cards that leave the deck by themselves. You ever seen people shuffling like they're having a fit? They're looking for jumpers. They're looking for cards to fly out. Some decks don't need that. Just I try to shuffle slowly and they're still coming out. The gloss, how smooth is it? Or friction, how much friction that's going to affect it. The odd shape, the size, all of that's going to affect it. If the cards are unwieldy in your hand, you're more likely to have one come out. And it's just a style of reading. Do it, don't do it, totally up to you. There's no school of metaphysics that says you have to do anything. Do what you want. If you follow the guidelines, you're going to have that outcome. And those guidelines are there sometimes because the people that are learning it before us thought, hey, this is effective. And sometimes the guidelines are there because people are power hungry assholes. So just keep an open mind. All right, not all. And it's a transitory state. Like sleeping. Man, I'm not feeling too many hits this morning. So I knocked the dash. All right, well, I'm gonna cut the deck and see what we get. I usually get like cues, different varying cues of when to cut it. Okay, so we have card 15, XV. These are Roman numerals. X is 10, V is 5. So we have card 15, and in the major arcana, 15 is the devil. That does not mean that that's represented here. But Iosis, it says Iosis. This is maybe Greek, I don't know. And then reddening. And I don't know. One thing about the snake, I mean, we see that that's the head, there's a tongue coming out, but the tail of the snake could be the head of the snake. Just reverse it. Use your imagination. All right, so, and then we have a silver ball and a gold ball. And a small red ball. Oh, and that's a black ball. Let's see what the book says. I don't know what Iosis is, so that would probably help. I don't know that it's a direct translation. So Iosis or reddening. It says life force, Kundalini, and blood. The reddening indicates a full expression of the work. Everything is alive. The heart pumps, the cells celebrate, and blood sings its way through the body. What was dormant has been awakened. What was once considered base, is now noble. Aches and pains are integrated. Shadows are acknowledged and interwoven. When the reddening card appears, it signifies health, power, a climaxing of the work, a coalescing of what has been learned. The laboratory is no longer separate from the alchemist or from the work, but the three are now one. What occurs in the body is reflected in the world and vice versa. Through the process of reddening, we move out of the head and into the physical body. More specifically, we reach the heart. It is there the alchemist finds the sacred ingredients of power and kindness. Take note of how many cards in your reading contain the color red. You may sense the physical vitality of the querent by the presence and absence of this life force color. And the querent is the person asking the question in the reading. Reconnect to physical practices that bring you vitality. It's likely you know which ones bring that rosy glow to your cheeks and sparkle to your eye. And then the card asks to go deeper. It suggests read the poem, The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. And then to ponder, the red of the heart. Is the heart red? I thought with that blood not being oxygenated enough. The red of the heart. And then whatever the color red means to you, you can also envision that. Use your imagination. And then The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. Don't know. I get a little thrown with this book sometimes. The messages are great and I love her work, but if I go in not understanding part of it, like the word iosis, I can still thinking about it towards the end. But I love this stuff. All right. It's okay. Some cards are going to be like, wow, in my head, or yours, whatever, the message clear. Other times I'm like, what? It's all good. Because in 3 days, it's probably going to be like, oh, that's what that meant. All right. And let's see, we have, I think I'll go to the astrology book next, because that's where I was going to go. So this is astrology. For astrology, we'll be reading from Heavenly Bodies Astrology. This is the cover that comes on it. It's very good. Very watercolory. All right. So we have a box, and then we have a hardbound book, hardbound guidebook. Very nice. That's not comic book, not my decks anyway. Usually they're paperback, and they're not always well made. Even though the deck itself might be very well written and beautifully illustrated, the quality of the deck does not necessarily reflect that. And I think it's probably just the capital. How much money did the creators have going in? You know, money's money, man. You don't have enough that you gotta, where can you put your money and where do you have to pull back when you're creating deck? All right, from here, scroll up there. All right, so we have astrology. Let's see where we're gonna sit with this. We have House 11. House 11. So 2 single staves, 1-1. Friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs are the keywords on House 11, and it's birds sitting on a branch. These are very subtle. The palette's very calming. Well, it can be. You might not like it. All right. House 11. Okay, House 11. This house reflects your social and humanitarian concerns. If looked at from the perspective of a lifespan, it's the adult who steps outside themselves and operates as part of a larger whole. Or figuratively, it reflects your feelings around groups of people. Do you feel like an eccentric oddball, or do you feel accepted by the crowd? It holds your friends, community, and the connections that aren't necessarily intimate or emotional, but based on shared ideas. That's like the Three of Pentacles. Why is the camera way up there? It's where you fit in. It's your wishes and objectives for the future of mankind. It's your environmental, political, and philanthropic viewpoints. This is where you become a part of the team or movement. So imagine that you just won $1 billion in the lottery. I don't know. Imagine you won $1 billion. In house 11, where are you going to help people with that money? Or are you going to be like, screw them, I want it. Whatever attitude you have is yours. Own it, because it's a part of you. It's what you're accepting right now is who and what you are. But what about philanthropic measures? What if you want to help others? It's not saying like you have to go fill their coffers with your money. You don't have to put $1,000 into every bank account in the United States. But how much would it actually cost you, billionaire, to put $1,000 in everyone's bank account in the United States? Especially considering we don't all have a bank account. So just those with a bank account now we're looking at, right? The idea is, what are you going to do with the resources and abundance you have? Are you physically able to smile? Are you? Do you share that with people? Can you raise your hand and wave? Do you wave at people? This is all a form of sharing. This is humanitarian export. You're giving a part of yourself. You're helping others simply by being present, by smiling and waving, or by sharing your $1 billion. It's however you want to do it, but you can do it. It's a choice not to. The natural home of forward-thinking Aquarius, dedicated to pushing humanity forward. This space is also linked to inventions and things that advance society. It is ruled by Uranus for its progressive imaginings, as well as Saturn for its discipline around idealistic beliefs. So the key words here, we have energetics and experiences. Those are the two areas, and the keywords for energetics: friends, wishes for the future, social and humanitarian beliefs, and like-minded groups. Experiences: operating as part of a larger whole, connections based on shared ideas, joining a team. And the omen for this card: humans are meant to commune and collaborate, yet so often beings feel lonely, alien, and out of place. Consider the person you have grown into. What are your current passions and interests? What are your philosophical, spiritual, or humanitarian beliefs? Has your tribe evolved with you, or are you feeling misplaced? Begin sharing the lens through which you see life. Reveal who you are. The universe is working to bring like-minded friends into your life, but you need to express your beautiful truth so kindred spirits can find you. Like me sitting here sharing these cards to see who also would like to not just hear these cards, but are thinking perhaps of doing the same thing. We are kindred spirits. We don't need to do it the same way or have the same reasoning for why we're doing it, Three of Pentacles over and over and over, but we're doing it together. You can be kind. It's a choice. Choose kindness. All right. Let me put this back. Okay. So that was Heavenly Bodies Astrology. And that was written and illustrated by Lily Ashwell. If I give you guys the title, you could probably still find the deck unless there's multiple ones, you know. But if not, you can always reach out to me and ask me, and I will try to get that info for you. But try looking it up first. All right. Felt like a teacher. Which I was thinking about my 7th grade math teacher, Mrs. Pippin. Out of nowhere this morning. Hi, Mrs. Pippin, are you watching? That'd be freaking weird. It's Elizabeth. I was in class, I don't know, 7th grade. At Western Branch. You taught at Western Branch, that's me. That's gonna be weird as hell if Mrs. Pippin reaches out to me and do this. All right, we've got the Fairy Tale Heroine Oracle Guidebook. This is by Sharon Black. The Fairy Tale Heroine Oracle. And then, sorry, this is the guidebook. Oh, share, like, subscribe. Very few people like the videos. People watch them, but not many people like them. I don't know. Maybe I don't either. No, I do. I don't know. I actually don't know why people do so. All right. Dismemberment, card 8, which is interesting because 8 is the strength card. Key 8 is the major arcana is strength. It's a woman, typically RWS. It's a person who's extracting their hand from the mouth of a lion. Dismemberment. What are you removing? All right, key 8. What? Oh crap, never mind. Sorry, it's yeah, card 8, not key 8. All right, dismemberment. Images of the dismembered feminine are common in European fairy tales. From the handless maiden, whose hands are severed by her own father so that he can save himself, to Karen in Hans Christian Andersen's The Red Shoes, whose feet must be amputated to save her from the power that her dancing shoes have over her. What does it mean to lose our hands or feet? Such dismemberment reflects a deep soul wound, a rending soulless, an acknowledgement that something essential has been taken from us. For the handless maiden, the loss of her hands leads to the feeling of emptiness, of futility. To make herself whole again, this particular fairy tale heroine must undergo a quest, a healing journey in the course of which she finally learns how to grow back her own hands. Precisely because of their brutality, stories of dismemberment and other such traumas are initiatory experiences, gateways to transformation. They propel us forcefully along the dark, root-tangled pathway to maturity and meaning. But having first been dismembered, our heroine will eventually be remembered. The handless maiden is healed, and she achieved this herself and in her own authentic way. Her original dismemberment, then, represents the necessary culling of an old life to make way for a new one. What has been cut away from you? What is the nature of your dismemberment? How will you remember yourself? Member. How will you bring the pieces back together? You don't need the original pieces because it's Theseus's ship. There's no original piece. We have been changing on a cellular level since the conception, since the zygote was formed within the womb. It's not even in the womb, does it? Doesn't happen before that. But anyway, the idea is you don't need your original pieces. You buy an old car. Let's go ahead and get us the 67 bug. Do you honestly think we've got parts on the shelf? We might still have some 67 parts that Volkswagen created and never sold. They're still in their original packaging. Or do you go to the junkyard and get another part that will match your car? Not the original, but it will still help your car work. That's remembering. Take what you can to build what you want. That's it. Fabricate what you need. Do not rely on others to give you everything that you ask for. You have got to get it yourself. Fabricate, nurture, create. You want to eat a green pepper? Go grow a garden. All right. So now we have the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck, a 52 card oracle and guidebook by Nikki DeWort and Elizabeth Margolin, illustrations by Jenny Kostecki Shaw. Okay, thoughts in my head. I got guns in my head and they won't go. Spirits in my head and they won't go. Okay, so moon and rhythm is our card. Okay. So moon is the card, and I think it's representing rhythm, is how I'm looking at that. How am I gonna find this? Is this gonna be, oh, I think it's alphabetical. Oh, no, it's not alphabetical. Elemental. Wow, okay, let's see if they have a table of contents. So the table of contents will be in the beginning of the book, and if you can't find a table of contents, or it's just simply not listing what you need, you may want to go to the end of the book, where typically we'll find an index. Also giving us information. These are quick ways to find what you need within the book rather than flipping through. Although while we're talking about this, you can also study bibliomancy, any book, any magazine. I actually have, I don't know where I got these. Ooh, the thrift store thing. Anyway, it's these, I don't know, what year is this? 2024, and it's Emergence, but they're metaphysical magazines. I can't believe someone had these, I got rid of them. And bibliomancy, right? You can do it with anything. With text, you don't look at what you're doing. It's kind of random, like shuffling cards, and then put your finger down. Now the idea is you put your finger down on text so you can read it, but you can read the image, but put your finger down and start reading, and that's bibliomancy. All right, so we're looking for moon. Okay, page 75. Oh, I know that picture. That font. All right, 75. Where is moon rhythm? So the shadow of this is chaos. But then, so I was thinking of people dancing because I thought rhythm, and then I see where the shadow is chaos, and I thought ecstatic dance. So chaos is not necessarily, it's just, I think it's without an immediately discernible pattern or discernible pattern to all. But we never see the same thing the same way. So let's see what the card says. So we have a quote by John Muir, Muir, that's how you say that. Nature is ever at work, creating and destroying, keeping everything whirling and flowing, allowing no rest, but in rhythmical motion, chasing everything in endless song out of one beautiful form into another, the collective. The idea that we are all one, the mycelial network. All right. Moon, ever changing but ever present, devotes herself to guiding the fluctuating moods and feelings of the feminine. In her soft gaze, Moon holds the sustaining rhythm of nature, a resounding energy by which you can whirl and sway without losing the beat. She invites you to join her sometimes ecstatic, sometimes cathartic dance, keeping time by her phases, along with the tides and cycles of life. Can you sense luminous potential in her fullness and restorative balance when she hangs fallow? Do you, or did you, honor your monthly cycle as a sacred connection to lunar mysteries? And I'm going to pause there because I'm actually calling menstrual cycle, probably word coined by men, my lunar cycle. And those of you practicing blood magic, you have access to this every month. Think about the connection that those of us with a uterus are given, or the potential for that connection. Even if you do not have a cycle, you do not have the physical representation of a cycle, which is normally blood, in this case, in this particular cycle, it is still something that you can sense. Imagine not having a uterus, but wishing to feel as though you could in some way connect with those that do. No, you will not have the same lens, but none of us have the same lens. Half the people on this planet have the potential to go through a cycle involving blood in a natural way that mother provided. But we do not all connect with that cycle in the same way, especially since our cultures may not allow us to connect with it in a healthy. They shun it. They call it dirty. The churches wouldn't let menstruating women in unless they had special permission at one point. persecuted for something that we have no control over. All right. And we should not be persecuted for. Do you or did you honor your monthly cycle as a sacred connection to lunar mysteries? Moon sheds light on your life in each current moment, seeking to illuminate where her magic has been eclipsed. Rekindle your lunar nature by drawing down the moon. Inspired by this Wiccan rite, stand beneath her full orb with your arms overhead in a Y-shaped chalice position. Chalice is going to be a cup. We're going to take our arms up. This is going to be as much as you can do. If your arms only want to come out here, go ahead and pull them in. Make like a cup. This is also called cactus arms. Make a cup. If your arms go straight up and you bring them back to be in line with your ears, dropping your shoulders to relax and extending fully, you have created your chalice. If you wish to simply cup your hands in front of you, lifting them to where it is comfortable, you have done this as well. If you are immobilized and can simply see yourself doing it, you have made that connection. There is no one way, and I would warrant there is not a wrong way. It is how you can do it. We are not all the same. Stand beneath her full arm with your arms overhead in a Y-shaped chalice position. As moon's reflective wisdom streams into your being, become moonstruck. Welcome midnight prowls, or howl during the sleeplessness of her full glow. Let yourself turn inward on her dark nights. To live estranged from the pull of lunar influence breeds discord. To live estranged from the pull of lunar influence breeds discord. When you instead attend to moon's rhythmic waxing and waning, you demonstrate your readiness for synchronicity with the cosmos. It is the biggest fucking cycle we can see, and we see it constantly for those of us with sight, physical sight. It is an amazing aspect of everything that we are connected to, and yet it is largely ignored. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I don't know where I put my phone. Sorry, I usually mute this, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's all part of the message. Here's another cycle. They're bringing in the ignoring of phone calls. Okay, anyway, we're good. So that was the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. I love this deck. Definitely going to read from it more. All right, very pretty. It's a good size deck too. It's just separate from this, but also like the mechanics of the physical deck, it's opening, closing, shuffling. That's all really important too. And I do have some deck openings on my channel. If that's something you guys want to see more of, let me know and I can put more up. I see a hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, part of having $1 billion. If I had $1 billion, I'd set up a tarot deck, oracle deck company and sell them cheap $2 to everybody, and set up a center for study of spiritual studies. That's what I'd do with the money.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I think about it constantly. I would go to water on our planet and focus on how to help with water, not on a global scale, because water connects with water. So our planet, our bodies, all of this water connects with each other, whether or not we feel it, I believe. And I would put it all towards water in our own country as well as other countries, but water would be the focus, not the individual or the humanitarian aspect, but just how water, if we don't have it, we die. So I figure water is a really good place to start to help everybody. Yeah. And I see that we have gone over time. I say that time's irrelevant, not real anyway. Let me just beat. So we'll hang up. We'll end the call. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you for being here.